Hi everyone, my name is Angeli Sao, and today I will be presenting a dish called Nom Plai Ai. Over here is our table of contents just to see exactly what we will be covering. Nom Plai Ai. What is it? Nom Plai Ai originates from Cambodia. Nom means snack or pastry, Plai means fruit. Altogether, Nom Plai Ai translates to cakes of forgiveness. This is said by a popular Cambodian restaurant in Siem Reap, Cambodia, which is where the ancient Khmer temple Angkor Wat resides. Just to give you an idea of this pastry, it is a refreshing coconut dessert served during big gatherings and celebrations. But I'm going to show you how you can enjoy a little bit of Cambodia at home. Cambodia. Cambodia is a Southeast Asian country. Their direct neighbors are Vietnam, Laos, and Thailand. Cambodia is mostly recognized for having the oldest and largest religious temple, which is Angkor Wat. The biggest significance of Angkor Wat is that its age and creation are reminders of what used to be the Khmer Empire. One of their largest crops is rice. As of 2025, agriculture became one of their 4 pillars supporting Cambodia's economic growth, meaning that they went from textiles and shoes into agriculture, which proves to be a positive impact on their continuing development. Nom Plai Ai. The recipe. Nom Plai Ai contains 3 ingredients: glutinous rice flour, palm sugar, and a ripe coconut. How we prepare this dish is by mixing the glutinous rice flour with a bit of water, just a little bit at a time. We mix this into a clay consistency or until the dough no longer sticks to your fingers. Now we cut the palm sugar into small finger-sized balls. We wrap the palm sugar with dough. Make as much as you'd like to eat. Then you place each dough ball into deep boiling water. You wait for the dough balls to rise to the top. Scoop them out of the hot water and place them onto a plate. Then top off with fresh coconut shavings. Now I'm going to get into the ingredients. Glutinous rice flour derives from long or short, sweet white rice grains. Rice tends to have a somewhat translucent appearance. Glutinous rice, on the other hand, has a much more solid white appearance. White rice is a major crop growing throughout Southeast Asia. Rice is a major export of Asia, easily making rice flour one of their other big exports. Among these exporters are Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia, who are responsible for the majority of exports of glutinous rice flour. Palm sugar. Palm sugar is a sugar that is used commonly in Asian dishes and desserts. Palm sugar comes from the sap that is collected from coconut palm trees, which are grown in Cambodia. This sap is boiled down in order to reduce this sweet coconut sap into a solid concentrate of sugar. Coconut. Coconuts are grown on palm trees throughout Asia. Coconut and coconut water is also an export of Asia. Coconuts are enjoyed at almost all stages of life. The young coconut has a fleshier and jelly-like substance, making it suitable to add to most desserts. Ripe ones, on the other hand, have a much more tougher and thicker flesh. This makes it perfect for Nom Plai Ai, as the meat can be shaved with a hand tool in order to make a garnish. Nom Plai Ai has a personal connection to me and my family. It is one of my favorite dishes as it signifies not just my culture, but my family's history. The impact of the Khmer Rouge had forced many Cambodian people to face displacement. My grandmother, in fear for her life, had lost contact with her family. She ended up in California, where she ultimately settled down in Stockton. There is a large community of Cambodians that live in Stockton, refugees and descendants of refugees. It's in Stockton where we all came together to build a community, as the assimilation to America proved to be brutal. A way that Cambodians created a sense of community was by creating and sharing home dishes. My grandma's was Nom Plai Ai. This dish is how my grandmother made a living and supported her family with cakes of forgiveness. The story I shared is a story that many Cambodian Americans can relate to. The assimilation to America was absolutely brutal to the Cambodian American families. Recovering from war and trying to establish a home in a foreign country was overwhelming. Some can say even impossible. My grandmother, who was a wealthy woman in the capital of Cambodia, now found herself with nothing and no one. Out of necessity, she sold food. Nong Plai Ai is a dish native to Cambodia, made with simple ingredients, and it became one of her staple profits. My grandmother, in her struggle, recognized in her community the need for a sense of home. She fed her community, kept her culture alive, and reminded everyone of home, even though they were far from it. Everyone, Cambodian, Vietnamese, American, Native, anyone who bought that dish from my grandmother got to celebrate another win as she got to share her love for her home. Nong Plai Ai, Asia. Nong Plai Ai's ingredients are not exclusive to Cambodia. In fact, many neighboring countries have their own dish that is similar but not always exact to Nong Plai Ai. This reveals that although much of Asia may share the same produce, the way they develop them into their cuisine is unique to their own culture. An example of this is Thailand and Laos. Their dessert is called Khanom Tom. It contains all of the exact same ingredients, no adding in anything. The only difference between the two desserts is that Thailand and Laos stuff them with a caramelized coconut. This means over a saucepan they allow the palm sugar to melt, and when it's sticky, they add in the coconut shreds to get a caramel coconut cluster. With this, they roll those into balls and stuff them into the glutinous flour. These two countries are direct neighbors of Cambodia, so it's interesting to see how they developed this dessert into what it is using the exact same ingredients. Singapore calls their dish onde onde. It uses the exact same ingredients, but they add in pandan syrup. Pandan syrup is a green plant that is grown in Asia. Pandan is a popular flavoring in Asia. Most would describe it as a sweet, fragrant, grassy vanilla. How they include this is by adding the syrup to the glutinous flour, which not only flavors but colors the glutinous flour into its iconic green color. Singapore is not a direct neighbor of Cambodia. They are under Malaysia, which is connected to Thailand. How they developed this dish to add pandan must have to do with their culinary heritage, which is unique to their culture. Nong Plai Ai's impact. Why Nong Plai Ai's recipe is significant to Asia is in the way the ingredients are grown and accessible to all. How they were able to develop these dishes into what they are now are unique to their culinary heritage. This reveals that although many cultures and ethnicities are under the umbrella of Asia, that even within their dishes that have these same ingredients, there is a difference in how they are used. This also highlights that although their foods are different, they enjoy similar palates. The questions that I have proposed are, have you ever tried this dish? And does a culture outside of Asia have a dish similar to this? Alright, and that concludes my presentation. Thank you guys so much.